What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim in Green Bay. We got Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk Packers as we've gotten breaking news throughout the day. 3 more top 30 visits set up for the Green Bay Packers. Really scouting report for all of those. Going to be a lot of fun. Gents, how we doing today? Everybody have a good day? Good?
Yes, sir.
Having a great day.
We got a full house formation tonight. I like it.
I'm telling you, man. Little full house, little jumbo backfield here. All right.
Wishbone,
A little wishbone. Look at Tim flexing.
Wishbone, that's a secret move Jacob uses at the office, right?
It is a wishbone. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's get this party kicked off right and hit some Patreon questions before we jump into the top 30 visits. Really excited to break those down as well. Chris N in the chat says, Clayton, I think we need to start considering wide receiver a premium tier. One position considering wide receiver one top of market is $40 million, and top of market wide receiver 2 is now $30 million. Would you consider making the change? Chris, you can do whatever you would like, sir. I am not going down that route because I'm from the Bill Belichick, Bill Walsh school of thought of wide receivers the last piece you put in place. And you go trying to pay a receiver $30 and $40 million without having the most important aspects of a football team put together, you end up doing what the Cincinnati Bengals do. And you end up doing what, some of these other teams like the Dallas Cowboys, why did they never get over the hump, right? They paid CeeDee Lamb, and now they looked up and said, damn, we can't pay Micah Parsons. They had a little bit of a spat with Dak Prescott, right? A lot of things kind of pop up. They surface when you're prioritizing paying wide receiver before all the other pieces are in place. Now, is Green Bay to that point? Some could argue, yeah, they're a playoff team. They won 11 games. But I would have
playoffs.
I would have no problem with, hey, let's go pay a receiver $30 or $40 million if they are top 3, top 5 at their position. The problem is those guys don't hit the market. So you've got to find them in the draft. So Tay Adams, if we find another Tay Adams, pay him. You know what I mean? When his 4 years are up, pay him. What do you guys think about that? I am a strong no with that. And again, I'm not saying Chris is wrong. It's just I've read too many football books and studied too many great football minds to just all of a sudden pop up one day. You know what? Wide receiver should be the most important piece. So what do you guys think?
His receiving is tough.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to say that depending on the team's situation, you could call a wide receiver a premium tier, but it's just overall in the grand scheme of things, I think that you're right, Clay. I think that it has to be, it's one of those last puzzle pieces you want to put in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice having speed threat on the outside. I think you got to keep the defense honest vertically, but shelling out $40 million, I'd rather protect the $250, $300 million we have standing behind our center right now. So that'd be my take.
Yeah, not to be boring, but I agree with everyone on this. I'd rather keep bringing in young talent or grabbing from the free agent pool like we did with McCall Hardman. And just kind of cycling guys in or UDFAs, whatever it is, rather than just going crazy and paying a true, wide receiver one and breaking the bank.
Right. And, that's the thing. Like, if Justin Jefferson was a free agent, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Those guys just never hit the market. So it's kind of one of those questions that, when does it apply, right? Like, I know some people, and I'm not saying Chris was, obviously, I don't think he was, but some people were convinced T. Higgins was the truth, right? And I just don't see it that way. I don't. And that's the other thing. When you spend that much money on a wide receiver, now you get away from what you want to do schematically in Matt LaFleur's system, which is throw to the open receiver. You're scheming guys open. You're marrying the run with the pass, and everything looks the same every snap, and you got the illusion of complexity with simplicity at its core, right? And then when you get one of these guys in there and you're going, damn, all right, we paid him $42 million or $38 million, whatever it is, we better just chuck the ball up to him into double coverage. Me no like you that, Jan. As a wise man once said. So we got a couple
I was just going to say, just before we get too far behind, Mr. Jason Y gave us a $2 super chat, and he said, you know what time it is. 1 out of 10. Come on,
We've got so much to cover. We might do it, boys. If we get through the content real quick, we'll do it, okay? Chuck Jaggers with the super chat. Pick Tracian Holden in the 7th. All right. Let's take a look real quick.
Pull
the board up. Go ahead.
416 on our board. All we have is consensus of 318.
Emilio's on it. Appreciate it, Emilio. So that one of those late round gems that Chuck likes. Good stuff, Chuck. Appreciate the super chat, man. And the next question here in the Patreon group, Andy Monday says, as far as quarterbacks in the first round, it's interesting that very few starting quarterbacks in the league are 30-plus years old. Stafford, Russell Wilson, Geno, Carr, Dak, Baker, and Goff are just 30 at 7. I mean, that's a pretty good shot. That's it. Not as many teams looking to replace an old guy. Only a few seasons ago, we had Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, Manning, Big Ben, Rivers, Matt Ryan, Flacco all heading out. It affects the draft board when there's a bunch of old QBs. I think that's a valid point. I do. It's interesting. And we got into some quarterback talk yesterday, which I really enjoyed because, again, do I want the Packers to take a quarterback early? Absolutely not, unless it's just an absolute stud that falls right in their lap. But quarterbacks drive the draft and all this talk that we've been hitting on here lately. Rodney in the chat says, hey, Clayton, have you checked out Baron Sorrell from Texas as a possible 7th-round pick? By the way, Chamir Dyke, I hope I'm saying that right, Chamir Dyke, is pronounced Shimmery DK. Why do they do this to us, boys?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
He was a former Badger star receiver before transferring left when Jim Leonard left. I think I actually looked him up a second ago. Now I've lost it. Do you have him, Emilio, on our board?
Yeah, Barron we have at 226.
Okay.
606 PFF. I mean, he was PFF Big Board had him 109. Consensus had him 218.
Got it. So the main thing that's bringing him down is his 2024 PFF grade of where he was 311th at his position.
Right. But he did get a 9+ RAS.
Yeah, nice athletic dude there late in the draft, possibly, Rodney. Good eye, man. Good eye there. So there you go. There's the Patreon questions. Appreciate everybody. Again, just one of the perks of being in our Patreon group, and always good questions there. Let's jump into the news of the day. We already broke this prospect down the other day, but boy, oh boy, it came flying across the wire earlier this afternoon. And that is Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver from Ohio State.
Here's the guy.
Top 30 visit in Green Bay. You guys know he's number 19 on our board. Actually, before we jump into it, let's hit the super chat real quick. Evan Hooper, thank you so much, Evan. Hey, guys, I usually don't make the lives. I work night, but your podcast has gotten me through some long night shift, and I appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Evan. Appreciate that, man.
Thanks for Evan. Appreciate you getting us the support.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the support, and glad we can make those work days a little bit easier, man, for sure. That's what I do when I'm out there on the grind, man. I'm listening to podcasts all day long. Yep. I can't stand to listen to ours because I hate the sound of my damn voice, but I get fed off a lot of other podcasts for sure.
Yeah.
So. All right. So here we go. Bucket Goldberg working overtime. The Green Bay Packers have reportedly scheduled a top 30 visit with Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka per team sources, marking him as a prime target for the 2025 NFL Draft. Egbuka ranked number 19 on our PTA big board, impressed at the NFL Combine with his 6', 202-pound frame, 4.48 second 40-yard dash, and polished route running, offering the Packers a dynamic weapon to pair with Jordan Love in their evolving offense. Let me ask you guys, before we jump into all the details of Emeka Egbuka, I like to do this when we do these top 30 visits breakdown. We'll start with you this time, Tim, and then we'll go to Jacob, then Emilio. What's your initial thoughts on Emeka Egbuka before we dive too deep into it? Would you be okay with him at 23? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys know I'm the president of the Jaden Higgins fan club. But, all of that aside, there's a lot of first-round eligible receiver talent, I think, in this draft, and Egbuka certainly fits the bill. And the more I watch film on him, man, he just looks like a Packer type of receiver. He really does. And it might explain why, we've shown so much interest in him at this stage of the game. So we're a couple weeks away. It would not completely shock me if we did go receiver first round and he was the pick, put it that way. If we break the mold here and take a receiver in the first round and it's Emeka Egbuka, I would not be completely shocked at all.
There you go. Jacob, what do you think, man?
I've definitely started to increase the way my positive thoughts towards Emeka at first. For whatever reason, I didn't think he was going to be around. Then I thought just doesn't fit the bill. Then I thought he's more of a slot. Now I'm starting to think of him as more of like maybe more like a Jaden Reed type, where he definitely can play the slot. He can definitely play, even if you want him to play some X snaps, he could do that. The Z, I think he's just really a really versatile puzzle piece that we could use on that team. It's just that in the 23 spot, I really just want to reserve that for whether it's wide receiver or edge or offensive line. I just really want it to be more of a blue chip, like this guy is a plug and play. That's gonna. I think that 23 pick in the first round for this Packers team needs to be somebody that's a slotted in starter. I'm so sick of us wasting time and money and years on guys that really don't see a lot of playing time.
All right. A 2-0 for this says Egbuka in the first, Jack Besh in the second, then trade all our picks for a long snapper. There you go. All right. Emilio, what are you thinking about Egbuka here at 23 possibly?
I honestly have always really liked him. I would be completely fine taking him at 23. I think that it would make everybody happy. I think it could be one of those trade back, get him at 27 type things. But
that'd be cool.
I really do like the way he plays. Plays it right, carries himself right. Good head on his shoulder, and I think that's going to be huge. I think that them seeing him in person, getting that kind of feel for it, sometimes that can just make the jump.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So let's jump into the scouting report here. This is from high school. Look at this picture, by the way. Who's that poor sap with his cleats in the air back there? Egbuka just ran right through his face. You got to love it. So scouting report coming out of high school, a 5-star recruit from Steilacoom. I hope that's right. High school. Back home, you steal a coon, you get shot. You know what I'm saying? Where that goes. I'm just saying, man.
Who?
Raccoons back home. You got to be careful with that. In Washington, Emeka Egbuka entered the 2021 class as the nation's elite prospect at 6'1", 190. We now know he's 6 foot. He's actually like 6 foot, what they call a 6'07". So he's probably a little over 6 foot and a half inch, I guess you could say. 190 pounds. He combined elite speed with crisp agility, starring as a wide receiver and return specialist. His senior highlights showcase smooth hands, explosive breaks, and a knack for yards after catch, earning him Washington Gatorade Player of the Year honors. Ranked number 8 overall by 24/7 Sports, Egbuka picked Ohio State over offers from Oklahoma, Clemson, and Washington, with scouts pegging him as a future first-round talent. Goes on to his college statistic. Egbuka's 4-year run at Ohio State from 21 to 24 highlights his evolution into a top-tier receiver. In 2021, as a true freshman, he played 13 games, recorded 9 catches for 191 yards. He broke out in 2022. His sophomore year, guys, listen to this, 74 catches for 1,151 yards and 10 touchdowns over 13 games, alongside Marvin Harrison Jr., earning freshman All-American nods. His 2023 season saw a dip due to a nagging ankle sprain, 49 catches, 515 yards with 4 touchdowns in 10 games, but he still secured honorable mention All Big Ten. In 2024, Egbuka erupted with 81 receptions, 1,011 yards, and 10 touchdowns over 13 games, adding 12 rushes for 91 yards and 2 scores, earning first-team All-Big Ten honors. His career totals ended up being 213 catches, 2,868 yards, and 26 touchdowns over 49 games. Detailed scouting report entering the draft. At the combine, Egbuka measured 6 foot, 202 pounds with 31-inch arms, blending speed with a 4.48 40 and a 38-inch vertical. His 2024 tape reveals a technician with rare polish, fluid hips, and precise route breaks, and reliable hands, just 3 drops and 103 targets. He thrives in the slot or outside, excelling at creating separation with savvy footwork and bursting after the catch. While not a burner like some peers, his short area quickness and body control make him a quarterback's dream. His versatility and football IQ project him as an instant impact wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 potential in Green Bay's scheme. So that's suggesting, hey, look, you can plug and play him right in the spot. There's your number 2 wide receiver his rookie year, working his way into wide receiver 1. As Coach Lynn says, everywhere he's been, he's produced, man. It's kind of rare that you see someone come out so highly touted out of high school and live up to the expectation. He seems to have done that. And, we're always talking about how Goody likes Georgia players, that's something that's just been kind of a common theme. You know what I think he likes more than just Georgia players? It seems like he's always looking into the national championship teams. You notice that? It seems like that's what he kind of likes to dip into is, hey, these dudes know what it takes, the big one. and be a part of an organization that's bigger than them, because you win a national title, typically it's not because you got this big stud superstar. Like, look at the quarterback of Ohio State, Will Howard. He's probably not even going to be as high as a 4th round pick, right? But what do you have across the board? You have 2 receivers. His entire time at Ohio State, Egbuka has had to work in tandem with other big name receivers. JSN, right? If I remember correctly, went there. Marvin
Garrett
Harrison.
Wilson.
I mean, it's just constantly there's a receiving core there, and it has become the quintessential receiver in college football for sure. So
you mentioned Goody loving the Georgia players and the championship experience. I wonder if that explains a little bit of why we were so high on Quay in the first round. National champion, part of a big defense, arguably the number 1 defense in the country at the time. And I wonder if that's what kind of pushed him over the edge and made us go ahead and take a flyer on Quay.
Devontae Wyatt too, Tim.
Yep.
Right. Same thing.
Yep.
So Javon Bullard, if I remember correctly.
Junior.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. They're the ones that have gone on a run too. I mean, let alone the regular season. You got to go through the playoffs now. You got extra games. You got wear and tear on the body. How do you carry yourself? Can you still compete when the lights get brighter? All that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As I'm reading over these, you guys are kind of convincing me here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh boy, here's a guy.
Wow.
For some reason, I thought he was a little more stocky and slow, but 6 foot 202 with 31-inch arms with a 4.48 and a 30-inch vert. I mean, that, and just the 3 drops on the 103 targets. The fact that if they really do consider him a plug and play starting wide receiver too, I think you might have twisted my arm a little bit, dog.
Here's a guy.
And Jacob, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this was my guy the whole time either, man. It became apparent to me about a month ago when I noticed him on the board, and he's like hovering around Luther Burden and all those guys. And then all of a sudden he separates himself where he's number 2 behind Ted McMillan. And then I hear Greg Cosell talk about him like, this dude is going to play in the league for 10 or 12 years, and he's going to be an Amon-Ra St. Brown type player. Like he mentioned a couple of different players similar to that. But this is one of those guys that got brought up. He can play everywhere too. Like he can play Z. He's big enough to play X. You could put him at X if you wanted to. Now he's not going to be that jump ball guy, although you'll see some of these pictures we got of him. Matter of fact, I think I've got one down here. Or did I already show it? I believe I already did. That one right there. Look at this. Like going up into double coverage on Texas and bringing that thing down high pointed, right?
I mean, his contested catch rate is 60%. So
there you go. There you go.
And he's a walking 12 yards per reception too. Like, I mean, if you just go back even the last 3 years, I don't know what his do we have anything on his yards after the catch numbers, but just looking at the PFF grades, man, it's something it's something to pay attention to for sure.
Yeah.
Looks like he averaged 5.9 yards after catch, tied for 165th. Not terrible.
Not terrible. Not great, not terrible. Room to improve, right?
Yeah,
he's tied for 31st in contested catches. I mean, that's a lot of players in the NCAA for him to be even up that far. 785 yards in the slot was 22nd. I mean, he had 193 screen yards, which was 18th. I mean, the guy, like you said, he just produces wherever he is.
Right.
Yep.
So the RAS card, a 9.71. He has 9.63 hand size. His arm length actually came in at 31.5 inches. So really nice arm length there for a receiver, especially one of a little over 6'1.5", 202 pounds, a vertical jump of 38 inches. And then you had the composite speed grade being great with the 40-yard dash being a 4.48, with the strongest point of that, the 10-yard split was. So he ran the 10-yard split in 1.5 seconds. That means he's going to have burst off the line. Shuttle 4.12, which scored him an 8.86. He did not have a 3-cone drill measurement there. Now, when we look at injury and character concerns, Egbuka's injury history includes that 2023 ankle sprain costing him 2 games and lingering into late season. Though he played through it, in 2024 he showed no setbacks, logging a full slate and hitting 20 miles per hour in Ohio State's pro day drills. Durability isn't a major concern, but his frame may need monitoring against physical corners. I say monitoring? Yeah, monitoring. Okay. Off the field, Egbuka shines, known for a meticulous work ethic. This is what Greg Cosell talks about. A meticulous work ethic, vocal leadership in Ohio State's receiver room, and 0 character red flags. His academic honors, academic all Big Ten, and community involvement boost his profile.
God, he's a Packer, man.
He is a Packer.
That's just
so. What do you read when you say, or what? How do you read into that? His frame may need monitoring against physical corners. Do you think they're just like there's a concern that he's going to get rerouted off the line if they're playing press or something?
I think that's exactly what it means. Emilio, what do you think? To me, it feels like it's, hey, look, you don't want to consistently put him in a situation where if somebody's jamming him, you know what I take of this? And it's exactly what Greg Cosell said when people said Egbuka is not an outside receiver. He's like, he has specifically said if you put him in a Sean McVay style offense, which is Matt LaFleur's offense, where you've got a moving Z, what we refer to on Chalk Talk as the F in Matt LaFleur's offense, then that's where you get those free releases. So, Tim, I take that as you got to monitor that in the sense of you want him being that cheap motion guy so he doesn't get jammed, and he's got that 10-yard split of 150. Is that how you're reading it too, Amelia?
That's exactly how I was seeing it. I think that the way you can kind of flip-flop Jaden Reed and him if you were to get it, if you want Jaden Reed on the slot, even if you keep Jaden Reed on the slot, you're using Egbuka as a flyer, but Jaden Reed's off the line of scrimmage, he's still kind of that a little bit of a free release, not being pressed up. You could stack them. We go tight a lot. We got, doubles tight. You can get yourself free without having to, always move Jaden Reed or Egbuka, or we can go, two motion. Really, you got to keep the defense honest. I think Matt LaFleur is going to bring something new. We talked pistol last year. Maybe it's double motion. Maybe it's a whole shift. You start on the right side, everybody flips left, something like that.
Yeah, I can see it.
I agree.
Chris in the chat says, I don't see what Goot won't like about Egbuka, RAS, etc. I mean, seriously, when you look at these top 30 visits, you start to try to narrow them down and go, okay, what pick are they looking at that guy at? Because a top 30 visit doesn't mean you're just looking at him for the first round pick, right? I mean, they're kind of scattered throughout the draft is how Goody, and he got that from Ted Thompson. Ted Thompson was really big on that. So when you look at it from that perspective, okay, what would disqualify Egbuka from being the 23rd pick? Him not being there is the only thing I could find, Chris. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. So
I think we would all agree he's not going to make it out of the first round.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Tim. Coach Lynn said here, Egbuka would work great and reduce formations great in the blocking game also. And the monster aggressor asked, can Egbuka beat man? PFF has him as an 80.9 grade versus man.
Wow.
Check another one off the box. All right, let's go to the PFF grades here. Starting in 2021, his grade 72.8. In 2022, he jumped to an 83.1. 2023, he had the ankle injury, fell back to a 72.9. And in 2024, he jumps back up to a 79.5. Now, when you look at the snaps here, he was in the backfield 16 snaps. He actually attached inline 27 snaps, and that's that real close that when they go to those nasty condensed sets, you know how we would put Christian Watson right there, almost looks like a tight end position.
Right.
They were actually putting Egbuka in there. And Egbuka's a physical player too. Like he'll peel somebody's cap. You look at this kid, he's built solid. Like he's not really built like a Jaden Reed, to be honest with you. He's built more like I don't even know what to say here. I don't want to say Hines Ward because Hines Ward was thick, but just a more physical receiver in that regard. He'll block and he'll stick his nose in there and do the dirty work. And I'm telling you, as I was going through and grabbing pics for the article, bro, there was pictures everywhere of just bodies laying around him as he's running with the football. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about.
No block, no rock.
All right, so in line, that's what that means with the 27 snaps. In the slot, he had 548 snaps, and then he had 164 out wide. Now, keep in mind, he may have lined up in the Z, and then by the time the ball was snapped, he moved into the slot as well. So that's a lot of what Matt LaFleur, I think, would do with him. So, and again, the offensive grade 79.5, but the receiving grade 82.4 there for Egbuka. So here's his draft projection. I just said Emeka Egbuka projects as a mid to late first round pick in the 2025 NFL draft, buoyed by his 2024 dominance with 1,011 yards, 10 touchdowns, and combine performance at number 19 on our PTA big board. He's a premium talent in a loaded receiver class. The Packers holding number 23 could snag him to bolster their passing attack with his plug-and-play ability, making him a strong fit. Egbuka's floor is a high-end wide receiver 2 with Pro Bowl upside, unlikely to slip past round 1, given his fit in today's pass-heavy NFL. Anything else you guys want to hit on here with Egbuka as I battle this pterodactyl over
here? Well, real quick, Bates was asking if we had ever done a mock where we were forced to take him in the first and see how everything else fails. He says his brain can't remember. I don't think that we've done that for him. I know that we did it for.
I know we did corner first, right?
That was it. We had to pick a corner first, I believe. That might be interesting to explore.
Well, maybe we can try to do that tonight if we have time to do one real quick, right? We'll kind of just key in on Egbuka. Hopefully he'll be there. That's the other thing. It kind of starts to feel like Jahdae Barron, like maybe this dude's gone before you pick 23. But
Love and Football says all those Ohio State connections on our staff too. Sounds like he could be one of the Goody breaks the trends for. He goes on to list those said connections, saying Dugan, Vince O, Halfley, all being former Buckeyes. Clearly they'd have an inroad with Ryan Day and know the inside scoop about him. I think that's a fair point.
Great point. Great point there, for sure.
Man, if we go Egbuka in the first, I guess I can kiss Jaden Higgins goodbye, huh?
Hey, Tim, why not double dip, baby? Why not double dip?
I really don't see. I at first I thought there's a possibility that we could trade back and still get Egbuka. I just don't think that's going to happen. But Prince brings up a good point here, saying McMillan, Golden, Egbuka. It's possible that one of the three makes it to 23. If that's the case, then
Luther Burden in there.
Luther Burden's in there.
There really is.
I would have a hard time believing that you add Luther Burden to this list. I have a hard time believing all four of those are gone before Packers pick at 23.
Right. With what, 20 D tackles going in the first 3 rounds. Yeah. So I mean, it's possible. Clay, before this gets away from us, real quick, Chase Green says, Clayton, I love the podcast, but I agree with you. O tackle and a 3 tech is more important than a wide receiver. Scored 10 points against the Eagles. To me, we should go OT or tight end. Tight end gives us yards and blocking.
I like it. I appreciate the kind words, buddy. Tight end is really picking up steam for the Packers, at least from the fans. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's starting to look at, hey, if these receivers are gone, that means a good tight end drops to you. Why not take a tight end and use that as a weapon? I mean,
take a little weight off Tucker's shoulders.
Yeah. And look at what Brock Bowers did last year, right? Which we had Brock Bowers as one of, if not the best prospects on our board, which I want to do that. That needs to be an episode coming up real soon to where we go back and look at our last year's vertical board and see how many we hit on, kind of see how those guys feel. I think that's a lot of fun. Yep. So, all right. So there you go. Emeka Egbuka in for a top 30 visit. All right. Let's see here real quick. H.E. Solder says, is there a big difference between Egbuka and Higgins or Harris? I think when you look at those 3 players, Egbuka is a 4-year player at Ohio State where they have had arguably the best wide receivers in all of college football that entire time. When you look at Higgins, smaller school, Iowa State, right? Now the strengths to Higgins that Egbuka doesn't have. When you look at Trey Harris, I want to say he played – was that the one that played – I can't remember where he played. He played at a smaller school and transferred to Ole Miss, right? So Ole Miss is a big school, don't get me wrong, but he kind of came up through the ranks, and I'm sure that was an NIL deal, as opposed to, say, Egbuka, who like everybody was saying in the chat. I think the way I would answer this question, I'll get your all's take before we move on. Soder, what I would say is Egbuka has been that dude since high school, and these other guys have kind of emerged, that would be the main thing that I would think the difference would be. They're all different players. Higgins is a big body possession receiver, right? Yep. With good speed too. Harris beats the hell out of man coverage and has great hands, right? Which Higgins has got great hands too. Egbuka to me would be able to do more of what Higgins and Harris couldn't do, and that's that moving Z and what LaFleur likes to use in his offense. What do you guys think?
I think with Higgins, he's similar build to Harris. So when you look at Egbuka, a couple inches in height, couple pounds in weight, like you said, big body possession receiver. I think the thing that makes Higgins stand out, I've said this before, is the route tree. I don't think there's a route he's incapable of running effectively. And I think that might give him an edge over a Trey Harris or an Egbuka.
Got it.
I think that's fair. The only thing I would say in regards to Egbuka is working out of the slot gives him a lot of more two-way goes. I feel like he's kind of, he can be dominant left-right, rather than if he's like a one-sided receiver type thing. But, yeah, I mean, Trey Harris would be a, stretcher, tall, can, like Clay said, beat man. Same with Higgins. So,
There you go. Yeah. Wish y'all could see this pterodactyl. He's on my screen mocking me right now, bro. He just flipped me the bird.
He did.
Yeah, he just said he's about to go over the camera. If he goes over the camera, this is going to be hilarious. Hold up. Please do this. Oh, my God. Come on, climb over that camera, dude. All right, anyway, back to the show. We'll see if he does, you'll see it get blurry here, man. That would be hilarious, dude.
So Turtles, real quick. We talked about it briefly, but I forgot about a couple. He says Emeka in Ohio's all-time receptions is Ohio's all-time receptions leader, considering the fact he was behind Olave, Wilson, Harrison, and Jeremiah Smith. I forgot about Olave. That's crazy.
Jeremiah Smith is unbelievable too. So I mean, that's for him to be still producing like that around that kind of talent, coming out as a 5-star, that's big.
Yep.
Clayton's
going after it right now.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
That was playing those games. He got evicted. All right, he's out of here. Get him out of here. All right.
Question mark. My biggest worry with Egbuka is just what Coach Knight is saying right here is that I don't want him to take reps away from Wicks if we draft Egbuka. My only worry is what Coach Knight says.
Gotcha. No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Agree. It would put my boy Malik Heath on the chopping block too, as well, for that last spot.
Mm.
Yeah, that would definitely shake up the wide receiver room just a touch. I imagine they would give him an opportunity to win that starting job as much as possible. Now, the other thing about the moving Z, the F, you got to know all the choice routes, and what we mean by that is everybody's got to know choice routes in the offense, but that F is a lot more difficult because it's moving into different spots, and that choice route changes from where you start on the formation to where you're going to end at the snap of the ball, right? And it could be a wolf concept that if they play outside leverage and you got the corner out of the two, then okay, if they've got outside leverage and you're running the corner out of the two, then you sit instead of run the corner. And you got to know those things, and the quarterback's got to be on the same page with the receiver. That's why you've seen Aaron Rodgers constantly cussing all those rookie receivers. And it's why people are like, no, Aaron needs to throw to the open guy. Shut up, quit complaining. And you got first ballot Hall of Famer Kurt Warner going, boys, these receivers are not breaking their routes off the way they're supposed to in this offense.
Right.
So it is amazing how many people on Twitter argue with a Hall of Fame quarterback, but that's just the way it goes. All right, let's move it along to the next top 30 visit. Anything else on Egbuka, boys? That was a fun conversation. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Yep.
All right. How about his teammate, Josh Simmons? All right. Packers reportedly schedule a top 30 visit with Ohio State offensive tackle Josh Simmons. Says the Green Bay Packers have reportedly scheduled a top 30 visit with Ohio State offensive tackle Josh Simmons, according to team sources. And Easton Butler is the first one to have it. I just want to give him a shout out. All three of these Easton Butler had, like he always does. Positioning him as a notable prospect for the 2025 NFL Draft, Simmons ranks number 24 on our PTA big board. Showcased his strength in the NFL Combine with his 6'4", 317-pound frame and 33-inch arms. There it is, boys. That's what you need to play tackle in the NFL, right? Offering the Packers a potential long-term solution at tackle to protect Jordan Love's blind side. This was him in high school, by the way, boys. That was him when he was verbally committed to USC, I believe. Look at this guy right here.
Wow.
So scouting report out of high school. I'll just keep it on the knees there for a minute for you boys, all right? Jacob, don't get too excited. A 3-star recruit from Helix High School in La Mesa, California, Josh Simmons entered the 2021 class as a raw but intriguing lineman. At 6'5", 280 pounds, they give all these kids 1 extra inch of height. Have you noticed that on every one of these reports?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Clay, come on, you didn't do that. You didn't do that in high school. You didn't put 6 foot.
Well, I actually am 6 foot.
Yeah. Oh,
just saying to me. That's what do you?
Okay, so you put 6'2". You put 6'2", 225.
You got to understand where I went to high school at Cumberland High School in Harlan County, Kentucky. Well, they didn't think they're measuring people for height. You think they're even asking? They're like, hey, can you throw that baseball from shortstop to the first baseman and not hit somebody in the stands? Yeah, I think. All right.
Put you up on the website.
Get out.
Get ready
So
to go.
At 6'5", 280, he displayed impressive athleticism and length, excelling at left tackle with a quick first step and natural bend. His senior film highlighted his ability to mirror edge rushers and dominate in the run game, earning him all-league honors. Ranked number 46 among California prospects by 24/7 Sports. Simmons committed to San Diego State over offers from Nevada and Fresno State, seen as a high upside project with NFL potential. When you look at the PFF grades here, in 2022, he's a 47.1, then he jumps to a 67.5, and then last year a 74.4, albeit I think that was cut short last year with an injury. We'll get to that here in a second. But his pass block grade, 82.0 with a run block grade of 68.7. It says college statistics. Simmons' 4-year college career from 21 to 24 spans San Diego State and Ohio State, showcasing steady growth before an injury cut his final season short. In 21, he redshirted at San Diego State, appearing in 2 games. As a redshirt freshman in 2022, he started all 13 games at right tackle, allowing 2 sacks and earning honorable mention All-Mountain West. Transferring to Ohio State in 2023, he started 13 games at left tackle, surrendering 1 sack and earning honorable mention All-Big Ten. In 2024, Simmons started 5 games before a season-ending knee injury, allowing 0 sacks and 1 pressure and 152 pass-blocking snaps. Career totals, 31 starts, 3 sacks allowed, and consistent improvement across 33 games. When you look at the RAS, obviously with the injury, it's incomplete. He does have the 33-inch arms. His hand size is 10 inches. Huge paws on this cat. 6'4", 317. So the 6'4", you guys remember the article we did on the height? That 6'4" seems to be that cutoff spot, that sweet spot. Bench press, though, scoring a 983, had 34 bench reps. This dude is a dog on the bench press. Detailed scouting report entering the draft at the combine. Simmons measured 6'4", 317 pounds with 33-inch arms, demonstrating his power with an impressive 34 bench reps. His 2024 tape, though limited, showcases a fluid, powerful tackle with exceptional movement skills. He fires off the snap with a quick kick slide, mirroring speed rushers effortlessly, and anchors well against power with a strong base. His run blocking improved markedly at Ohio State, where he excelled at sealing edges and climbing to the second level. Boy, can somebody say duo, right?
Mm-hmm.
While his injury, a torn patellar tendon, raises durability questions, his pre-injury tape suggests a high-floor, high-ceiling prospect who could thrive at left tackle in Green Bay's zone-heavy scheme.
On my knee.
Injury and character concerns. Simmons' primary concern is a torn patellar tendon suffered in October of 2024 against Oregon, ending his senior season after 5 starts. Pre-injury, he was trending towards offensive tackle 1 status, and recent reports indicate he's progressing well, targeting a full recovery by training camp. So he should be good to go at training camp. No other significant injuries mar his record. Off the field, Simmons is a low-key, high-character prospect, praised for his coachability, work ethic, and team-first mentality at both San Diego State and Ohio State. His transfer to Ohio State reflects ambition, not discontent, and he carries no red flags. Goes on to say draft projects as a late first-round to early second-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, bolstered by his pre-injury dominance and combine strength. At number 24 on our big board, he's a top-tier tackle and strong offensive line class. The Packers with pick 23 could target him to solidify their line, though his injury might cause a slight slide into day 2. Teams needing immediate tackle help may hesitate, but his upside as a day 1 starter with all-pro potential should keep him in the top 40, especially given the league's premium on athletic blockers. So obviously, I think the Packers, Jacob, what they're looking to do, man, is they're trying to get this cat in-house to get their hands on that knee and make sure everything checks out there and see, okay, he was trending toward possibly being the best offensive tackle in this draft. When you talk about who's the top tackle? Will Campbell. What's the argument? His arms are too short. You don't have that here with Josh Simmons, obviously. So the injury is what's pulled him down, but still, even with that on our board, man, I'd be okay with him at 23. I know there's a lot of fans that will be really pissed off about it, though.
Yeah, I don't know where I would fall with it. If we picked him at 23, I would definitely have my concerns. Obviously, the injury that you talked about, but I can't remember if it was Greg Cosell or if it was somebody else, but it was one of the others that I really respect. And they said that they're worried about the kid. They said that not just because of the injury, that because for whatever reason they just didn't see a lot of the dominance, and they're worried that this injury is going to set him back more than it would a normal type prospect. And they actually said they were more impressed with, I believe it was the guard that kicked out to tackle and ended up covering him. Was it Donovan Jackson? Yeah, I believe so. So at 23, I think I'd probably be a no, but if for some reason we were able to trade back, 5, 6, 7 picks, he's still hanging around in that early second for some reason, I'd feel good about it. But yeah, there's going to be a large plethora of Packer fans that are not too excited to have a tackle in the first round with knee injuries.
Tim, Daniel Jeremiah kind of agrees with Jacob. He has him in the 30 spot. That seems like 23 is a little bit too much of a reach there, but Kyle Krabs had him in the 8 spot. Dane Brugler had him at 17. So what do you think about Josh Simmons here?
I like Josh Simmons a lot. The injury history is a legit concern, especially with the PTSD we all have from David Bakhtiari. We know what it's like to have a tackle with a knee that just will never get right. I think at 23, if we go tackle, I like Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas more. I keep looking at Simmons and Banks Jr. Kind of back to back lately, and I just feel like if we're going to go tackle in the first round, I kind of like the kid out of Texas a little bit more.
Yeah, and we've got Josh Simmons, I think, is the 4th best tackle. Our tackle board goes Will Campbell at 6, Armand Membo at 8, Kelvin Banks, your boy, at 13, and then we've got our boy Josh Simmons at the 24 spot. So, Amelia, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was DJ, but somebody said, I want to say DJ, that Josh Simmons would have been the first tackle on the board. He would have been number 1 tackle if it wasn't for the knee. Patella tendon, that's the tendon that's holding the kneecap in place if you swiggle it back and forth. That's where they take you from if you're getting an ACL replacement. So it's not something that's – I feel like it's not something that's going to be a crazy naggy thing. I think that as long as he gets the feeling of it, like if you want to – you bring him in, you make sure that you can put your thumb on the scar and all that stuff. Make sure you can move it around. He's not wigged out by that. I would not be opposed to it. You know me, I'm building that wall. If we can get another first-round tackle that would have been a starting left tackle, if he played the whole year, he probably would already be gone. That's something that's up my alley.
Got it. Good stuff, man. All right, again, that is Josh Simmons.
You guys – Sorry, I was just going to ask if Doc was in the chat, which I thought he was. I would have better for whatever it was patella. And the doctors told us sometimes, depending on the patella, that it can actually be quite a longer recovery time. 3 to 6 months is best case, but usually it's 6 to 9 months is what I remember he was having to deal with. If that's true, does that scare you even a little more than nowadays with it? I remember when ACLs used to be like, that was real bad. Now it feels like an ACL is like, oh, he'll be back in 6 months. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I just I don't know if there's anybody in the chat that has a little bit more of an understanding of that. If you could maybe talk about it.
And I mean, it happened in October, and they expect him to be ready for training camp. So that's good enough for me. Yeah.
You see the photo here, which is great. You see the braces on both legs, and that's preemptive. A lot of O linemen wear that preemptively. And it just shows he still jacked his knee up, even with the preventative stuff on. It just shows the stress that these guys are under at those positions, Yeah,
definitely. All right, that's Josh Simmons again coming in the number 24 spot on our big board. He's dropped because of the injury. That's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate you.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. Let's dive into another top 30 visit, and then we're going to try to save enough time here at the end to do that mock draft that people were requesting. So
that is awesome in a dumpster.
Here's someone on the different end of the spectrum, all right, when it comes to the draft. This guy here, another reported top 30 visit scheduled with the Packers, Oklahoma State offensive tackle Dalton Cooper, all right? The Green Bay Packers have reportedly scheduled a top 30 visit with Oklahoma State offensive tackle Dalton Cooper, according to team sources marking him as a developmental prospect for the 2025 NFL Draft. Cooper, ranked number 249 on our PTA big board, brings a massive 6'5", 326-pound frame with 33-inch arms to the table, offering the Packers a seasoned lineman with the versatility and experience to compete for a depth role on their offensive front. Can you say backup left tackle, gents? That's what it feels like right here. All right, so let's go to the high school days. Look at this monster in high school, man. Tim, there's the double knee brace in high school, bro.
Yep.
So here's what we got. Scouting report coming out of high school. A 3-star recruit from Prague High School in Prague, Oklahoma. Dalton Cooper entered the 2019 class as a promising two-way lineman. At 6'6", 290 pounds, he showcased a blend of size, agility, and tenacity, starring as both an offensive and defensive tackle. His senior tape featured a powerful initial punch and solid footwork, earning him preseason Class 2A All-State honors from the Oklahoman. Ranked number 30 among Oklahoma prospects by 24/7 Sports, Cooper committed to Texas State over offers from Tulsa and New Mexico, viewed as a developmental talent with a high ceiling. All right, so here he was at Texas State. I thought that was a cool picture right there, by the way, coming out with the Texas flag and the American flag. You got to love it. College statistic. Cooper's 6-year college career from 2019 to 2024 across Texas State and Oklahoma State reflects durability and growth. In 2019, he redshirted at Texas State, playing sparingly. From 20 to 22, he started all 36 games at left tackle, earning freshman All-American honors from the Athletic in 2020 and third-team All-Sun Belt in 2021. Transferring to Oklahoma State in 2023, he started 12 of 13 games, 2 at right tackle, 10 at left tackle, allowing 2 sacks, and earning all Big 12 honorable mention. In 2024, he started 8 games at left tackle, surrendering 0 sacks and 1 pressure and 300 pass blocking snaps before a late season injury. Career totals 57 starts, 4 sacks allowed, over 3,800 snaps. So obviously he had the late injury. Now, he did compete at the combine, however. Look at this right here, boys, at this RAS card, a 9.06. At the combine, Cooper measured 6'5", 326 pounds with 33-inch arms. There's that measure again, showcasing his strength with 26 bench reps and an elite 4.99 40-yard dash. You think that knee's okay? For his size, his 2024 tape reveals a technically sound tackle with a wide base and quick hands to stymie edge rushers, complemented by a 4.64 second shuttle that highlights his lateral agility. That scored him an 8, by the way. He excels in pass protection using his length to redirect speed threats and his anchor to stall power moves, making him a fit for Green Bay's outside zone scheme. In the run game, he's adept at reaching the second level and sealing defenders, though he's not a dominant people mover. His experience at both tackle spots adds versatility, projecting him as a swing tackle with starter potential if he refines his consistency. When you look at the PFF grades here, starting in 2019, 65.3, 69.3. In 2021, he jumped all the way to an 85.3. Then in 2022, he drops back to a 72.3. 2023, he jumps to a 75. 2024, he drops back to a 73.2. But that pass block grade last year, gents, 85.5. I think Emilio just threw up on What do you think so far when it comes to Dalton Cooper here, man? I mean, they had him listed at 6'7", but of course the RAS, he ended up measuring in at about 6'5 and a half, a little less than 6'5 and a half, though, with those 33-inch arms, man. That's got to be what Goody's thinking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not going to get an opposition from me. Bring in the O-lineman. We got to protect Jordan Love. We got a road grade for Josh Jacobs. Run sets up the pass. I mean, bing, bang, boom.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been consistent and big body, big frame. Probably could grade out a little cleaner on certain aspects, but I mean, you're talking about 2022, he played 12 games, 2023, 14 games. Obviously, he had the late injury in 2024, but 72-3, 75-3, 73-2. Like you talked about, he's only allowed a handful of sacks his whole career, only 2 hits in the last 3 years. A significant snaps. I mean, I'm talking almost 1,000 snaps a few of these years. So the guy is absolutely battle tested. Like they talked about in that article, predominantly left tackle, but does have some snaps at right tackle. I mean, PFF has him right now at 315. To me, that's starting to look like some UDFA. I mean, I'd take how crazy would it be as if we just took another stab at a left tackle and the 7th and we get Dalton Cooper, just as maybe we let Rashid walk and go get his money somewhere and we just plug and play another 7th rounder. That's how we do it, baby.
There you go. What do you think, Tim? It's a big old boy here, man. It's crazy, too, is the reach, the frame. We talk about the height that's so important that scouts love, but that lateral quickness, man, he's definitely a pass blocker over a run blocker, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, that's okay. In this offense, I think that's all right at the tackle position. And I agree with Jacob's point, maybe leaning towards a UDFA type of guy, but, if we load up, grab another pick or something, we got the comp pick in the 7th round already. If Goody finds a way to add a pick in this draft, I could see us taking him late in the draft. You never know. It depends on how it unfolds early,
Definitely. Injury and character concerns, all right? Cooper's injury history is light but notable. A lower leg issue in 2024 sidelined him late in the season, though he's expected to be fully recovered by summer. No chronic concerns cloud his resume, with his 57 career starts underscore his durability. Off the field, Cooper is a high-character prospect known for a quiet, blue-collar approach, strong film study habits, and no off-field issues. His basketball background, senior all-star selection, hints at untapped athleticism, enhancing his appeal. I could see him let's put his butt in there on a U71 Bacon, run a little boot action off of it, hit him in the end zone for a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
All right, it says draft projection. Dalton projects as a late day 3 pick or priority free agent in the 2025 NFL draft, supported by his extensive experience, 57 starts, and a clean 2024 pass blocking slate with 0 sacks. At number 249 on our PTA big board, he's a depth piece and a deep offensive line class. The Packers, with picks at number 23 and 54, might target him in rounds 6 to 7 or as an undrafted free agent, leveraging their success developing late-round linemen like Zach Tom. His floor as a reliable backup with developmental upside makes him a sleeper worth monitoring, though his ceiling may cap him as a career reserve. Here's what I just want to say 2 words that come to mind for me. It's a former 7th-round pick, Rasheed Walker. Tall, good reach, one of these dudes like, hey, look, man, he's a developmental. They brung him in. He didn't play 1 snap his rookie year. Then he steps right in. He's your starting left tackle. Like, that kind of feels like this dude here, Dalton Cooper, is kind of that type of player, in my opinion. So we'll see what shakes out there. Anything else on Dalton Cooper, gents?
Nope.
He's no Travis Glover.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
Telling you, man. He made it a long time too before mentioning Tim. He did so good. All right, so let's take a quick gander at the draft board real quick. I wanted to look at this, and then we'll set up a mock draft for you guys and gals since it was requested earlier. So Emilio added in this awesome filter here. We're just going to go targets, okay? These are top 30 visits on our big board. You notice on the left, you still got the ranking, just -1 there, and that'll give you the true ranking. So the top-rated player that the Packers have had a top 30 visit with is James Pierce Jr., edge defender out of Tennessee. He was also a team captain. He's number 12 on our big board. Second on this list is Shamar Stewart, edge defender out of Texas A&M. He's number 15 on our big board. Next is Emeka Egbuka in the 19 spot, wide receiver out of Ohio State. And then in the 22 spot, you've got Michael Williams, edge defender out of Georgia. Then you've got Josh Simmons, who we just highlighted, in the 24 spot. Okay, so it feels like all 5 of those top 30 visits could potentially be a first-round pick, along with Savone Revel Jr., outside corner from East Carolina, who's in the 26th spot. You probably throw Matthew Golden in there as well. Many people have Matthew Golden much higher than we do. I've got him in the 37 spot right now, versatile wide receiver out of Texas. He's been the top 30 visit as well. Next, it feels like you're getting into that second-round range, which maybe Matthew Golden they see as a second-rounder. I don't think he's going to be around for that. TJ Sanders, 3-tech out of South Carolina. He's in the 41 spot. Then it drops all the way down to 113 with Jacob Bayer, center out of Arkansas State. 127, you got Isaiah Bond. That's Matthew Golden's teammate at wide receiver at Texas in the 127 spot. Then it drops down to Dalton Cooper, who we just highlighted, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma State at 240. And then Esa Poe, offensive tackle out of Washington State, is actually in the 353 spot on our board. So you got a couple potential 7th-rounders or UDFAs. It look like you probably got a couple of 3rd to 4th-round picks there, right? Maybe even 5th-rounder. A couple of potential 2nd-rounders, really just 1 2nd-rounder, and you got 5 or 6 first-rounders that you're looking at.
Edge, wide out, tackle, corner, wide out, D-line, interior O-line. It looks like Goody doing his due diligence as per usual.
Yeah. And the big thing, too, Emilio, you help me set this up, man. When you look at the players, what you're looking for are all these boxes to be filled with info. Yeah. And that's an indicator of, hold up, you may have something here, right? So when you look at that, the first player on our board is Shamar Stewart in the 15 spot. He's got everything filled in. He got the Senior Bowl bonus. He absolutely dominated at the Senior Bowl. right? Daniel Jeremiah had him in the 27 spot. Kyle Krabs had him at 16. Dane Brugler had him at 9. The RAS was a complete 10, a perfect 10 after he trimmed down from 2. He was over 280 pounds at the Senior Bowl. And then a few weeks later, trimmed down to 267 to run the combine, right? And Greg Cosell I gave him a 1-point bonus because Greg Cosell, he said, I love everything about the kid. He just don't know how to rush the passer. You got to teach him that. That's what he said. Right. So that's one that sticks out to me, Emilio, that all those boxes are filled.
All the boxes on the right side there filled, and then on top of it, you're looking for all the emojis on the left, that we've gone with now because it was too long to try to add text, right? So we got to give a picture that's worth that information. If we can get Clayton still was adamant about the hard eyes. We got a cheese emoji and then the target, right? So if we get that whole thing lined up, it's just like the golden ones we had, or were they magenta last year? That were just the absolute winners across the board. Then you bring them in for a top 30 visit. Out of the top 30, we drafted a third of them. So I think that it's right up our alley. I think that kind of narrows your eyes when you're, focusing in on draft time.
Yeah, and Jacob, when you look at all the boxes here, like I said, Shamar Stewart's the only one that has all the boxes full. The one that's next to closest to having them all full, Emeka Egbuka and our boy TJ Sanders.
Yeah. TJ Sanders just is seeming more and more like he's going to be a pick. Now, where that pick is kind of up for debate. I could honestly see if we did some sort of trade back out of the first, coming back in at some point to grab a TJ Sanders is starting to make more and more sense. Just the way things are kind of breaking down. It is interesting, though. I really this is every single person that's had a top 30 visit. Is that what I understand?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
Now we can also go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's a little bit. It's not the grouping I would have thought if you had to based on what we need, quote unquote, and what certain rumors are. But it is, I think, like Tim said, it's more of a, all right, let's get these guys in. Let's find out exactly what we don't know about them to make a well-rounded decision when we either get to the point where we decide to draft them or if we want to pull them in for a UDFA type situation.
Right. Emilio, I was thinking we had a defensive tackle in for a top 30 visit other than TJ Sanders. We don't, do we? Did I overlook one? I was thinking it was like a Walter Nolan or a Kenneth Grant. We haven't had anybody else in, have we?
No, not that I remember. I think that we did have a lot of cheese on D tackles, but there's not.
Let's do that.
That's the only target. I mean, cheese wise, Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Alfred Collins, Peebles, CJ West, Jordan Phillips. But yeah, only the one 30 visit in TJ.
Yeah, and who knows? They may have gotten enough info there, right, and feel good about it. Now,
you got Derek Harmon on that list. Can you scroll down?
I don't know. They didn't meet with Derek Harmon at all. Yet.
No, they went to the Oregon's pro day, but we just didn't get confirmation that
no rumors. Yeah, no confirmation that they actually talked with him or met with him. So, and that's like we just all immediately went, oh, they're looking at Derek Harmon, So, and maybe that will get reported. What happens, and I don't want to speak for him, but it feels like Easton Butler is working behind the scenes and talking to players, and they confirm what teams they met with. Like, hey, yeah, I actually met with the Packers, the Lions, the Colts, whatever. And then he'll throw the tweet out, and that's where we grab the info and throw it on the board. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Now, I do want to point out this real quick. If we go back to just the top 30 visits, there are 2 players that had significant injuries in 24. That was Josh Simmons and Savone Revel. Okay, so that's just worth noting there. Just make a mental note of that for sure. So, yeah. Anything else on that before we get into the mock draft, gents?
I think we should make that a point of emphasis. Maybe try and pick from if we're going to do a mock, right? Let's look at our top 30 visits, or at least our, pro day meetings, combine meetings, something. Try and go off the board that we built so far.
I agree, and I think, like people said, let's try to get Emeka Egbuka in the first round because we haven't done that. Let's see if he's there when we pick at 23. Let's take him. And just see how the rest of the board shakes out. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let's get this thing cranked up as we jump into a mock draft here on the mock draft database. Let's just go to wide receiver. Oh, he's there, gents. He's there.
We got to do it.
Yeah. Now it's going to look like a bad pick to them because they've got him in the 33 spot. For us, we've got him at 19. This would be a home run. This would be an A++ if it were our board that was in the system, right? So we're going to go Emeka Egbuka with the 23rd picks. Got a B+ there. So we went wide receiver first. Now the draft starts.
Wow.
What do you guys want to see, gents?
Oh,
I want to see you take Jalen Monroe.
Oh my God! Hey, by the way, it's sounding like the Steelers are on him now. Are they on him in the first, or are they on him in the second?
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's picking up steam, and I'm so damn proud of our board because everybody rolled their eyes at the fact that we had him over Jackson Dart and the third best quarterback. And I'm not saying he's better than Jackson Dart. I was just simply going, why do people hate Milroe so much? This dude ran a 4.340, and he's got one of the best deep balls in college football. But anyway, we're not taking him. I'm going to put everybody's worries to bed. I want to see here. Best available is Tyleik Williams, Jalen Milroe, Darius Alexander, Landon Jackson, Xavier Watts, Jack Sawyer, and Prince Lee. I've got this one for you guys. You ready? Manamilan is what that's what he said on an interview. So I don't want to hear anybody argue with me. He may change it later, but right now I heard him say in an interview, Manamilan. So there you go.
Prince from Ole Miss. That's how I remember him.
I'm just gonna call him Princely because that's a pimp name. I ain't gonna.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna see.
I'm kind of gravitating towards Mr. Darius Alexander in this pick. What do you guys feel about that?
Are you kidding me, Jacob?
Now we did say we wanted to kind of work the board a little bit with the top 30 visits, right? Is that what we agreed on?
Yeah,
at least the tees.
I think we should.
Okay.
So if we go D line, then it might be Tyleik Williams, then, right? Don't we have a visit with him?
Let's see if he's got the cheese emoji. We don't have a top 30 with him for sure. Tyleik Williams on our board. Do we have a cheese? We don't have a cheese, do we, Emilio?
Negative.
No, we sure don't. So I'm trying to see who would be best available. I'm trying to see if Darius Alexander. Did we ever meet with Darius Alexander? I'm not seeing him either, Emilio.
Yes, we did. Oh no, we did not meet. No, we met with. I was thinking Alfred Collins. Yeah, no.
And listen, we don't have
too old for Goody's taste. That's why we didn't meet with Alexander.
And we don't have to follow that rule. I'm just saying that we kind of mentioned it earlier. So Landon Jackson, we did not meet with him either, right?
No.
So it's going to be kind of hard to pick these guys out.
Well, what else we have for edge? Yeah.
I like Jack Sawyer quite a bit.
Yeah. We met with Princely. That's on the board here. So if we go, let's go D-line real quick. TJ Sanders is there. Obviously, that was a top 30 visit, right?
Shamar Turner.
Shamar Turner, I don't know if we met with him or not. It's kind of throwing me off having the Chiefs.
No, we haven't.
Who's the A&M guy we met with then? I might be getting them mixed up. I thought we met with someone from Texas.
Oh,
A&M.
that was Shamar Stewart.
Shamar Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Stewart. The other. Okay. There it is.
Stewart.
My bad. Stewart.
So at edge, we've got Landon Jackson, Jack Sawyer. Princely would be the highest graded player that we've met with so far, for sure.
Question.
Which player is best?
Can we look at cornerback?
Let's look at cornerback, Tim. I think that's a great idea.
Oh, that's a good point, Tim. Oof.
Jacob Parrish, Dorian Strong, Denzel Burke. I mean, Jacob Parrish is a reach for us right here, too, you know?
I think we try to come back in the third.
Kobe or Zy Alexander?
Yeah, that's probably what it ended up being. What do you think, Emilio? What should we look at here, man, position-wise? Maybe offensive tackle?
Yeah. That's tough, man. That really is.
I feel like we go Princely.
That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, either him or TJ Sanders, right?
I was going to say him and TJ Sanders.
Yeah, and again, this is if we follow the board to the only the visits so far, right?
What about stack backers?
Stack backers. Oh, in the second round, you trying to get me kicked
crazy.
off. Carson Swisinger, right? We met with Danny Stutzman.
We have, yeah, and Chris Paul.
Danny Stutzman's a reach right now. Chris Paul, we met with here, right?
Yeah, then I think you're right. I think it's got to be edge.
Yeah, it's either going to be Princely or it's going to be TJ Sanders. Princely's the higher rated player here.
I'll be completely fine with Princely. I think he was in that clip, right? He was running the circle that you had.
Yep.
Dude's got some bend.
I've got him in the 54 spot, but we have – where's our boy TJ Sanders? Why am I not seeing him? Where's TJ Sanders?
TJ Sanders is Whoops, I have this filter on.
He's not popping up on the cheese, bruh. And we had a top 30 with him.
Oh,
so
well,
maybe
yeah, we don't have a cheese on him.
we need to add the cheese to him. If they're a top 30, they need to have the cheese for sure. So if you'll do that, where's he rated on our board?
He is 41st.
So it would be TJ Sanders is higher on our board than Princely, is what it comes down to. But I'll let you guys decide. I'm going to stay out of this. If you'd rather go Princely over TJ Sanders is definitely ranked higher on the board.
Well, I think we got to follow the.
I'm going with Sanders.
Rules. I'll go Sanders.
Sanders?
Yeah. I'll follow suit.
All right. So nobody's opposed to Sanders. It's going to look like an ugly draft. But here we go at 63. We're going to take I almost want to trade back. But Princely, nah, he'll be gone. All right. We're going to go TJ Sanders. Here's boys. Defensive lineman out of South Carolina. So 2 top 30 visits we've taken, right?
Yes.
All right. Got it. Now, up next, pick 87. What do y'all want to see here?
Corner.
Isaiah Bond, Josiah Stewart, Demetrius Knight, Shamar Turner. What's crazy is Isaiah Bond, best available. We met with him. That's a top 30 visit, too. Tim was so.
Yeah. Oof.
I'm telling you. Corner's going to get just uglier and uglier as we go.
We come back in the next round. We get Kobe if he's still around.
Okay.
And if he ain't there, we're screwed.
Then let's take the receiver here. Then
actually, hold up a minute, boys. Highest on our board, cornerback wise, that we've met with. You see it, Emilio? You see who I'm looking at?
Mr.
Jacob Parrish.
It is really.
Yep.
He's 131 on our board. It'll look good to them here, but this will be one hell of a reach for us. He's going to be gone when we pick again, according to mock draft database. So
Can you go back to all real quick?
If you want to go corner, now's the time to go Jacob Parrish. So
what do you guys think about Demetrius Knight, though?
Did we meet with him, Emilio? I'm not seeing it.
No, we did not.
I see interior O-line or tackles or something.
I do really like Parrish, though. That dude has got some speed. I mean,
isn't he a little short though? Does he fall below our threshold? Thought he was like a 5'9" guy.
Damn, really?
He's got the hard eyes. So Clayton did the
Parrish is 5'10", I think.
Is he? Okay.
He's versatile too, so that's interesting. But yeah, interior offensive line, you got Jared Wilson out of Georgia, Dylan Fairchild, Jackson Slater, Miles Frazier. Jared Wilson,
we did meet with. He's at 122 on the board, so he's 10 spots ahead of Parrish.
Yeah. So he's
what about tackles? Tackle.
Trapillo
would be who we met with.
Okay.
And Belton, I thought we did too.
And Trapillo's 91 on our board.
Yeah. Trapillo would be the best pick here in terms of players we met with, right? There's nobody else that's ranked higher, I don't think, is there, Emilio?
I like that Boston College connection too,
Let's just look at where's Josiah Stewart. Did we meet with Josiah Stewart? We did not, did we?
No, not that I'm seeing.
Fairly high.
You just look at Ed. Yeah, scroll down a little.
Ashton. Oof.
Savion Jones.
Gelati. We did not meet with Ashton, did we? No.
Nope.
Jared Ivey. Did we meet with Jared Ivey? We did not. All right.
Baron Sorrell.
Oh, I think it's got to be Trapillo.
I think Trapillo.
Wilson or Parrish.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Who's the highest out of those guys on our board?
Ozzy.
Trapillo's the highest, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I feel like we're losing the cornerback position if we don't go here.
Too, Jacob. Yep. We're either going to reach. We're either going to reach right now for a corner, or we're going to take whatever we can get.
Here's the thing: Jacob Parrish is a reach on our board right now, right?
Yep.
However, Kobe Bryant is in the 143 spot, and he's projected to be the 124th pick, which is exactly where we're picking next. So if we skip on Parrish here, there's a chance Kobe's there, and that makes sense with the board, and we met with him. But if he's gone, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. So this is the epitome of reaching for a need right here. This is the definition of taking Jacob Parrish right now. You're reaching for a need.
Let's shake the dice, see if we can get him in round 4.
I agree.
Let's go Trapilo. You guys cool?
All right, so we're gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
All right, we're gonna go offensive tackle out of Boston College, Ozzie Trapilo. All right, now
Hey, we got Nate. Oh boy!
look at
Wow.
this. Look at this.
Still there?
Oh, he went.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so now in terms of cornerbacks,
He went right before us. Look at that.
in terms of cornerbacks that we've met with here, Jacob Parrish is gone. It'd be Kobe Bryant, right? Would be next, and then it would be Corey Thornton and Quincy Riley. So Kobe, and again they're flipped, right? So if we go Quincy Riley, we get a better grade on mock draft database, but we've got Kobe Bryant significantly higher, don't we, Emilio? Like Kobe Bryant is 143, and Quincy Riley is like 230 or 215. So
Yep. Yeah, I think it's got to be Kobe.
Kobe.
Anybody disagree?
Get her done.
Negative.
Go. Kobe Bryant. Now we don't have to reach for any needs. We can stick right to the board, right? So let's
Oh,
see.
Torrey.
Oh. All right. Let's see what we
Jacob
got.
loves Torrey Horton like I love Jaden Higgins.
It's
Just a quick recap. With the 23rd pick, we went Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. 54, we went T.J. Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. 87, we went Ozzie Trapilo, offensive tackle out of Boston College. And then 124, we went Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Kansas. Every year we do these exercises, there's always one player that's like, his name keeps popping up. Park, we drafted him. Feels like it's Kobe Bryant this year. Am I the only one that feels like that?
Recently, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the last month or so, definitely.
All right, so linebacker Stutzman is gone. What have we not taken here, right? We've taken wide receiver, D tackle, offensive tackle, corner.
edge.
Yeah.
We have not taken an edge, which, I'm one of these people, like, me personally, the only way I would want to take an edge in this draft, in my opinion, is if it's the best player on the board. Like this whole idea that we got to have an edge, I don't understand it because they're going to be they're probably going to be the fourth stringer. They're going to be behind Brenton Cox Jr. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you do there? You've got, you're kind of three deep there, in my opinion. If you guys have listened to Ryan's pod lately, man, the pass rush turned it on in the second half. People don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Brenton Cox had 19% pressure rate, dude.
Yeah. Lucas Van Ness cranked it up too. So, for what it's worth. But what do you guys want to see here, man? Y'all talk to me.
Can you scroll a little bit? I think right now Dylan Fairchild's jumping out at me, but I don't know. What do you guys think about Jamari Caldwell?
Jamari Caldwell, defensive lineman. Did we meet with him, Emilio? We did not.
Not that I'm seeing, no.
No, we haven't met with him.
Can we take a peek at tight end?
Yeah.
This always bails us out, right?
Randy.
Hey, Randy Gatson.
All right. Did we meet with a Rondé Gatz? I
We
don't
did.
think
I thought we did. No.
you said we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I know we met with Harold Fannin, but I'm not seeing a Rondé Gatz.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. It was Harold Fannin.
And Harold Fannin is gone, long gone.
He gone.
So that
What
did
about middle linebacker? Can we look at
linebacker
I feel like
Jeffrey.
backbacker would be our only other option.
Do we
Yeah,
meet
but
with Teddy?
Danny Stutzman's gone. Chris Paul Jr.'s gone.
Mhm. Nick Martin.
Smile Munden would be the next one, and hell, he's gone.
He's gone.
Hey, which, by the way, Emilio, somebody the other day I was scrolling Twitter. You wasn't on the show that night. I had it queued up, and I was like, I ain't gonna cover it because he's not on here. They were raving over Sean Dolac, bro. They were like, "This dude is a stud." I'm going.
Is he on the board? Can we take that man? Can we just take him with the last pick just for fun? Just get him on the
No, we
board?
cannot, sir. That's
Why
illegal.
not?
I apologize. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Okay.
Deontay
Ty
Dalton.
Felton. There's no wide receivers. I mean,
Big Thornton. We'll pick up some speed with that man right there.
did we meet with Thornton? I feel like we did.
Uh,
He's just a lot lower on the board. Did we not?
yeah, we met with Corey. Wait. Yeah, no, we met with Corey Thornton.
Yes, we didn't meet with him. All right. What do we think?
Did you meet with Fairchild?
Dylan Fairchild. What is he? Interior offensive line? Is that right?
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah, we didn't meet him. We haven't met with him.
All right. Well,
Jordan Phillips, defensive
Peebles.
line.
Peebles. we met with.
Yeah.
Our boy in here.
Peebles.
Yeah, we met with.
He's
We met
106 on the board, too.
Let's
I
go.
like that.
Run the
I like
card.
that.
Yeah, that's the pick right there. Jesus.
Yeah.
Doubling up. See, now I'm okay with doubling up on 3-tech.
Me too.
Because Kenny, you may move on from Kenny next year.
We already lost Slayton.
Yeah, and then you lost Slayton, so you got a void there already. And then also Kobe Wooden was cheeks last year. So, all right, let's do it. Aeneas Peebles with the 159. But this is going to be this is going to be an A+ here, I believe. Now,
B+. Take it.
There's good value according to their board. But. All right, so now pick 198. Let's see what we're looking at here. Chase Hunt.
We keep drafting him, man. We've mocked him at least 3 times, right, Clayton?
Yeah, and it's because he's so high on our board, Tim, but we haven't met with him, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, I'm trying to see here. Jalen Noel's long gone. CJ West is gone. What about Elijah Roberts?
Ooh, I like that.
We met with Fadil Diggs. That happened the other day. I just don't know if I marked it yet or not, Emilio.
Tight end again? Can we look at tight end? Who's still there?
I like Elijah Roberts.
We need to throw a cheese emoji on Fadil Diggs. I forgot to do it the other day. If you don't mind.
You know what? That Q Robinson is an interesting prospect. I actually have a list of like 5 or 6 guys that were absolute steals. If you pull him up, he got hurt, I believe. But when the games that he played, he had a 24% win rush percentage, if I'm not mistaken.
Dang, that's crazy.
Obviously, he's in Alabama as well. So that's pretty good competition there, I'd argue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Jacob Bayer anywhere? Jacob Bayer, is he already gone? Nope, he's there. So he's 306. We could get him later. That's someone who's where's he at on our board? He's 113 on our board. Jacob Bayer is. So keep that. Let's earmark 250 for Jacob Bayer. Okay.
Right.
Don't forget that 250 Jacob Bayer.
Didn't we meet with Eli Cox too?
I don't know if we did or not. Let's see here. Eli Cox, he's interior offensive lineman. I don't think we did.
I thought we did. Remember, because we were talking about how I'd get so excited because we'd have more Cox on the team.
Jesus.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I'm not showing that we met with him anyway. So
It's too old for this. What happens if you click on the long snapper button?
I can't.
Hey, actually, we probably met with about 3 of these guys.
There actually is.
We met with Josh Wazowski. Let's see who else here.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, who else are we looking for? Who else is on there?
Screenshot of the UDFA's right
we're
here.
Just killing time now. Yes. Carson Vinson, we didn't meet with him, right? That I remember. Sebastian Castro.
A lot of people are saying he's a really good late round safety, but just where does he play? Even if he, you know,
can we just take a peek at corner again?
Upton Stout.
Oh, there's a guy.
Mellow.
That's my favorite undersized corner in this draft is Upton
Quincy
Stout.
Riley's gone. Corey Thornton, is he gone? He is gone.
Donald Fortune.
Yeah.
I'm trying to run down. I'm going to sort this by corner real quick. Actually, I better not. That doesn't look familiar. I'm going to screw the whole board up. So I'm scared to death of this thing. Quincy Riley's gone, right? We already said that.
Yeah.
Elijah Huzzy. Anybody see Huzzy up there?
Mac McWilliams. We met
O'Donnell.
with him. Oh, that's Corey Thornton right there.
Yeah, 200.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
So
I would rather double dip at corner than wide receiver. I know we need, we got to deal with Scoot being gone and stuff, but the receiver room's getting crowded even with Egbuka there at 23.
Absolutely.
He's gonna take a starting slot.
That's
so
true.
And Corey Thornton would make sense at pick 198 according to our board, but obviously they're going to give us an F because he's 377 on their board. So what we could probably do here, Jacob Bayer's 306, Corey Thornton is 377. So let's go Bayer with 237. All right. And then we'll go Thornton 250. That sound good?
yes.
All right. So we'll go Thornton 250. All right. So who are we taking here then? Was pick 198. If we go down the list, I'm going to rattle these names off. Actually, Emilio, if you could go to the board and just read the names off, I can check the positions real quick and see if these players are here by chance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Which ones are we going, DBs or what?
No, just go off the cheese emoji board and start with Tyler Barron, edge defender. Okay.
Okay. Tyler Barron, Miami. We have Jordan Phillips, out of Maryland. Bryce Claywood out of Kansas. Amar Johnson, running
Just
back.
just a second. Offensive tackle, Cable Do, is that right?
Yeah, Claywood.
Cable is due. He is not on here. Okay.
Running back, running back Amar Johnson, South Dakota State.
Nope.
Okay. Jonas Sanker, safety out of Virginia.
I hardly know her.
You stole my joke.
I don't see Sanker there either.
Okay.
Right.
Efton Chisholm, wide receiver, Eastern Washington.
Yeesh.
Efton Chisholm is there. Whew. That's the highest graded player on our board right now of players that we met with.
Besides, the next one in line is Corey Thornton.
Yeah. Like Tim said, it's like wide receiver room's a little crowded right now, but Efton Chisholm did have a low drop rate, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Dalton Chisholm has a drop rate of 2.4% with a contested catch rate of 58.3, grade starting in 2022, 74.3, 82.4, 92.1.
He was the number one ranked wide receiver in 24.
Yes.
Prince in the chat brought up a good point too. He, said something earlier about wide receiver probably has the best value. Like if we're really looking at it right now.
That's what the board says. So.
Yeah, I'd love to double dip at corner, but I think Prince is probably right there.
All right, we're going to go Efton Chisholm then, all right?
Only issue is he's 5'11", 200 pounds. Another guy.
That's not an issue, Jacob. That fits.
Why are you always worried about size, man? Why?
You try working at the Oval Office and not worry about size, all right?
Get ready to go.
Tell you what.
So, again, what's his size again, Jacob?
He's 5'10", just a little bit over 5'10", 200 pounds. Not that I'm just saying we're a duplicitous amount of that same size receivers is what we're looking at.
Right. So you're using them big words, and since I don't know what they mean,
Doc used it earlier. Doc used it earlier.
We're doing it. Efton Chisholm. Effed
it.
F it. Chisholm down there somewhere.
This will be the draft. You watch. This will be Goody's draft, and everybody will hate it. So next we're going to go interior offensive lineman. Hopefully he's still there. Boy, where are you at, sir? No. Oh, no.
No.
Jacob Bayer. We're good. All right, so we're going to go Jacob Bayer, right? Or was it Corey Thornton? That would make more sense right here.
I think we're going Jacob Bayer, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to see which one was higher on the board. Where's Corey Thornton? Did somebody
Corey Thornton is 200.
Right now, I mean, like on here, like he's gone. Somebody took him, screwed our whole draft up.
Wow,
he's gone, boys.
And that's what you face on draft day. All right, now we gotta think outside the box. I know
Donald Fortune. Let's go.
We're gonna go ahead and get Jacob Bayer before.
Okay, and get my boy. Yep, get my linebacker 250. Thank you.
Clay Webb's good. I like Drew Kendall or Clay Webb, to be honest.
Did we meet with Drew Kendall? I'm trying to remember. That's a negative.
We get a couple of Boston College guys for that O-line. All right.
Logan Brown, is he still around? Probably not.
No. Trey Wettig.
There's Essa Pohl. We met with him.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
He was a top 30, actually.
Yeah, top 30. We got to take that, right?
Yeah.
Horrible grade here. Bang. All right. There it is. And again, the whole point of that exercise was these are players that the Packers met with in the order of our board. And obviously, we kind of prioritized top 30 visits. Emeka Egbuka, top 30 visit. TJ Sanders, top 30 visit. Jacob Bayer, top 30 visit. Essa Pohl, top 30 visit. So we got
that's literally what's going to happen, though. It's going to be like half the top 30 visits, and it's going to be everyone that they met with.
Yep.
Well, we got 3 defenders. I'll take it.
Again, to recap here for everybody listening on the pod, with the 23rd pick, Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. With pick 54, we went TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Pick 87, Ozzie Trapillo, offensive tackle, Boston College. Pick 124, Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Kansas. 159, Aeneas Peebles, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. 198, Efton Chisholm, wide receiver out of Eastern Washington. 237, Jacob Bayer, interior offensive lineman out of Arkansas State. And pick 250, Esipo, offensive tackle, Washington State. Was Efton Chisholm a visit, Emilio?
Efton Chisholm was just a no, it was he just had the cheese.
He did have the cheese, that's what I'm saying. So we met with him.
Oh,
right? We did not.
Sorry.
I think we screwed that.
No, we did. No, we did meet with him.
Okay,
196.
So every one of these the Packers met with, and we got 4 top 30 visits. So there you go. All right. And I keep seeing this brought up too. Again, Green Bay used top 30 visit for UDFA. They do use it for UDFA. But last year, 10 of the 11 draft picks were top 30 visits, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So the only draft pick that was not a top 30 visit last year was Marshawn Lloyd. Now, I think we took 11, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Or maybe it was 10 total, but every draft pick last year other than Marshawn Lloyd were top 30 visits. So yes, we do use it for for undrafted free agents, absolutely. But it's not that's the only thing we use it for. People, there's this big misconception in the draft community that, they use it to throw smoke screens. Bro, like a third of our top 30 visits ended up on the roster last year. So throw that BS out the window with Brian Gutekunst. I'm just telling you. But all right. Greg Rice, this is interesting too. Greg Rice pushes back again and says Bayer is a UDFA all day long. Well, on our board, we have him. This is interesting because on our board, we've got him in the 113 spot. So,
all right.
Yeah. Chuck says Egbuka screwed the draft. Love it. All right. Anything else, boys? Bad juju confirmed.
I mean, I think it's a great indicator of the fact that you can't base your whole draft on saying I have to go this player in this round.
All right.
It's an absolute crap storm after that because it just does not. It ruins the whole process of what you've done with your building your board. It ruins it.
Mm-hmm. Greg Rice says, if you can get him as a UDFA, why would you not? You absolutely would. Can you guarantee he's going to be a UDFA? Because our board is saying this dude probably going to go in the 5th or 6th round at least.
Yep.
So that's what you got to ask.
We got him in the 7th, so we'll take it.
Bingo. So, I mean, we could just look at 30% of our board where the Packers met with players and go, all right, all these are going to be UDFAs. We got them all. But that's obviously not how it works. So, all right. Anything else, boys? As United Bates says here, this is why we do these experiments.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Amen.
Great point.
That's why you do it. It's not our favorite mock, but man, I'm telling you, when we're live on draft night at our watch party and everything, there's going to be things happen that we go, of course, Scooty did that. Yeah. Of course, he went that route. And we didn't see it coming. So, yeah. Anything else, gents? Before we wrap this big bear up, this is fun, man.
Yeah. Loved it. Glad we did one with the only meetups.
Go ahead,
Jake.
I was actually going to just bring up one random player that it could just be the dumbest thing ever. But I was trying to think like what would happen if the Packers saw a guy in the late rounds. Let me see if I can find him here. We probably wouldn't need a safety, right? Do you guys all kind of think safety? We're pretty much covered there.
Unless he's a slot guy.
Okay, so I'm looking through these. I found a guy named Marquez Sigle, Sigle, plays for Kansas State Wildcats. And he's a little interesting because in 2022, he grades out pretty decently. Nothing ever crazy good, but in 2022 is an 84.9, 2023 76.5, 2024 72.5. So he's downgraded every year. Well, kind of, but if you look at his snaps, it's very interesting because the best graded year was 2022, where he just so happened to basically play out wide corner. After that, in 2023, they had him in the slot almost 90% of the time. Same thing in 2024. But that 1 year where he was a true outside wide corner, he played 11 games. He had over 200 and some odd snaps. He had 15 tackles, a couple assisted tackles, but he graded out really, really, really well. Do you guys think of any kind of late safety tweener where the Packers just take a flyer on him and think, hey, we can maybe throw this? Marcus Sigle, Sigle.
Is he on our board?
Nope. Is it an Marcus? Is that right?
Yeah, Marquez.
Okay,
Yep.
Marquez. No, we don't have him, so we need to add him to the board then. That might be an
Okay.
interesting one to work in. So,
yeah, 72.5 grade last year. Yeah, you're right, Jacob. Played all over the place, man, and looks relatively healthy too. Didn't miss a lot of games the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. It just seems like one of those guys where it's like they could announce that draft and everybody, who is this guy? Like who are we talking about here? That just seems like a weird.
Happens every year, man. Every year.
Yep.
So Coach Lynn said this is going to be epic in about 2 weeks. It is going to be awesome, man. And again, we're going to get up there. We're flying into town on Wednesday. The goal is we get there early enough, Emilio. We'll get to the house, get everything set up for the stream, and then we'll all go out. Obviously, we got dinner plans at the Republic Chop House. I'm excited about that place, man. It's so good. So we're going to go up there, grab some grub, and then what we'll probably need to do is an afternoon show to get some content out to everybody once we get everything set up before we go to dinner. Probably ideal. And then probably do one Thursday morning before we head over to the draft. And then we'll be back in time before the draft starts to give you guys the live draft party. It's going to be absolute blast, man. Badger Trio, the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Do you see us trading out of the first? Seems too far. Yeah, it is a good little distance, is it? Boy, you better be picking up multiple picks if you trade all the way to at least 33 from 23. 10 spots going to get you all kinds of draft capital, I would imagine.
Yep.
I think if you trade back, Badger Trio, you're probably going to stay in the first. Will be my guess. Although I don't know, man. When you look at when you trade back, when you trade your first round pick, if you're not in the quarterback market, these teams like to get in the first round to get that 5th year option. So most likely they'll be trading up with you because they're not in the first round or they've already used their first round pick, right? So I don't know, man. I kind of feel I keep going back and forth. How do you guys feel about that? And we'll wrap up. Like, are you team trade back? Are you, hey, let's stick and pick? What do you guys think?
If we trade back, I'd like to stay in the bottom of that first round.
I want to trade back 5 to 7 picks at the most.
Yeah, we did that a couple of nights ago on a mock, right, Clay? We traded back. We went from 23 to 27 or something, 28, and I think that mock shaped out pretty well. I don't know if we saved it, but I think you're right. If we go out of the first round trading back, we gotta load up on later round picks for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to picking up draft capital. I was at first thinking that Goody was going to try to trade up, first time when we were first talking about it, but I don't think that, he's not going to want to add picks. So I do think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. Coach Lynn says trade back in the beginning of the second, control day 2. That would be cool if you traded back and literally had 4 or 5 picks. And
trades back twice. Trades back with the Ravens once, picks something up, then trades back again with the Browns or the Titans, get some stuff into round.
And we could get those 3 techs we were looking at too, for sure.
And there's going to be a handful of edge defenders there that we still got high on our board too, like a Jared Ivey, possibly somebody like that. So,
maybe even decent receiver value too in the second and third rounds.
Emilio, do you guys have Joey Slackman on your board? And then I'll stop talking.
Slack.
While you look over this, says trade up for Buka. I can see that if they like Egbuka enough, him being in a 19 spot, maybe they trade up a couple picks, leapfrog somebody to take him. That could be a case.
I think that's a possibility. Slackman, Jacob, 296.
Tim, have you looked up his PFF real quick? Talk about a guy in 2024. He did not perform very well, played 9 games, had a 66.5, but the 2 years prior, Joey Slackman, Florida Gator, in 2023, graded out as a 90.7 with almost 500 defensive snaps, 6 sacks, 12 hurries. And the year before that, in 2022, was an 85.1 with almost 500 snaps, 7 snaps, 4 hits. I have not heard him talked about whatsoever, but the 2 years before the last, he was absolute dominant.
He is 24.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just saying.
Speaking of DiCaprio, Greg Rice says, any news on the butt tat?
It's coming.
We're getting it designed over the draft.
Sit your butt outside.
Draw up on a napkin in a drunken stupor at the Republic Chop House.
don't want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hand. So
Holmes MD1 says, "Ask Tat alert." All right. This show sucks. So I think everybody is just like completely devastated by that mock draft.
Yeah, we lost them.
None of us locked it. So, all right, that's it. That's why you do the exercises, though. So we hope that Goody doesn't do that on draft night. But man, it would make a lot of sense if his board looked like ours. That's what his draft's going to look like if we stick to just the visits for sure. So United Base, appreciate you, buddy. And look, let's give a shout out to all the super chats: Jason Y, Chuck Jaggers, Evan Hooper, and our boy Badger Trio with the super chats. Really, really appreciate it. We looked at that one, didn't we? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, awesome. Everybody in the Patreon group, thank you guys for the questions. Those were great too. If you guys want to join the Patreon group, scan the QR code in the upper right or go to patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. Getting 2 more episodes of Chalk Talk uploaded here in the next couple of days. Also, we got all the content we covered tonight. You can go back, comb through it. It's in there. It's all organized in the collections tab as well. So everything's right there at your disposal. So that's it, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Absolutely.
What is your problem, Jay?
We lost them.
Chat. We lost. It's I can't talk about it. It's fine.
I see it now. We're just gonna end this thing. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
There we go.
Bye, guys.